Well, good morning. Trucker Todd here, and time for another recorded video. Hadn't done many of these lately, so it's time to do another one. You know, when I do videos, and here the last few months I've been doing Tuesdays and Thursdays live shows on at 5 p.m. Central Time. And we usually go to 2.5 hours, something like that. And when I do that, I take for granted that when I don't do these recorded videos, some of you are able to pop in for say 15 or 30 minutes, but you miss the whole show. And so then you hear, Trucker Todd's having truck problems. But if you didn't see the whole live, you may not realize what had happened, what's been going on. And so I thought I would do this quick video. It's actually Sunday afternoon when I'm filming this. You guys will see it Monday morning. But I wanted to kind of tell you guys what's been going on. And I still had problems up until about 15 minutes ago. I had some time on this load. It delivers tomorrow morning in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And so I pulled over and worked on the truck and finally got everything fixed. So the truck's at about 90% now. I'm really happy with that compared to where it was. And so in this video I'm going to tell you what happened and what we did to fix it. And we're going to call this video Air Tanks and Airheads, including me. And I did some boneheaded things too. And part of being an umpire and calling it like I see it is telling you guys when I do good and telling you guys when I did bad. Now, one thing that makes me an airhead before we even get started, and I'll show you pictures and everything, is I'm still a Kenworth fanboy after all this has happened. So you guys hang with me. We're going to cue up the music that we hadn't heard in a while, and then we're going to jump right into today's video. But before we do, y'all give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media platforms, and make sure that you're subscribed so when I do those lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central, you'll see them. And when I do videos like this, you'll receive a notification. I'm really going to work hard to get more of these recorded videos out, even if I have to stop some of the lives or something. Anyway, I apologize for my appearance. You can see I got grease on my face. It's hot here in I'm in Oklahoma right now, Webbers Falls, Oklahoma, and it's super hot here. I'm about to go inside and take a shower, but I've got a friend with a Kenworth that he's going through a similar situation, so I'm trying to get this video out as quick as I can so it'll help him too. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Here's the music. Here we go.
And this is why I do this, why I'm out here, why I keep that hammer down. Flying by these road signs with home on my mind, with these wheels turning round for my family and for my kids, for this life I wanna live. And this is why I do this.
Alrighty, we're back. Let's just jump right in. I'm afraid this might be a long video as it is, so we don't need me rambling. So, it was Wednesday, and I had a delivery Thursday morning in Plainview, Texas, and in Lubbock, Texas. I knew the guys over at the Thermo King in Lubbock, Texas. APU had been out about a week. For those that don't know, there's only about, well, there's less than a half a dozen Thermo King dealers in the country that are open at all on the weekend. Most of them are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Now you can call after hours if you have a reefer or something like that, but it's very expensive. I would not recommend doing it for an APU. I was going to just replace the belt myself on my APU, but I found out that, you know, you still need to clear the codes and stuff, or you could have additional problems with your APU. It worked out being a good thing that I took the APU to Thermo King. Found out I also had a fuel pump that was going bad. They replaced the fuel pump, they replaced the serpentine belt, and I got out for a little under $400. So that was on Wednesday. Then I went to Plainview and to Lubbock, made my deliveries, and that was on Thursday. Friday morning, I had a air leak, and it had been, I ain't gonna lie to you, it had been leaking for a while. It was started off a small leak, and it continued to grow, and I knew it was about to become a big problem. Now, my son, I've mentioned it in a few videos, is a really good ASE certified diesel mechanic. He's got like 15 ASE certifications. He owns his own shop and does very well for himself. He was going on vacation on Tuesday. This was Friday. I wanted to run it down to his shop, and he and I look at it together, see if we could figure it out. So I went down there, and quickly we determined that on one of the ports of my secondary air tank, there was about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch crack there. He knew a welder in Tahoka that could come right over and weld it, and we expected this to be a quick, easy fix. Well, the welder come over, and he diagnosed the tank as being a stainless steel tank, and told my son and I if we took the tank off, he could weld it. My son and I took the tank off. Now, I told him, I said, I'm pretty sure it's aluminum. And, you know, the fuel tanks are aluminum. I believe the air tanks are aluminum. All the tank type stuff on the truck is aluminum. No, I've been doing this a long time. This is definitely stainless steel. Well, he took the tank to his shop, and now this ain't my son, by the way. This is a welder he knows. And he called us a little bit later. Actually, he didn't call us. We got tired of waiting. We went to his shop, and he said, oh, I'm still working on it. I almost got it done. And he blew a hole in my tank. Instead of welding it, he blew a hole in it, because again, it's aluminum. It has to be welded differently than stainless steel does. So I want to stop the video right here, right now, and show you that hole in the aluminum tank that he thought was stainless steel. So you can tell there the hole is a little bit bigger than a 1/4. Okay, now that you've seen the hole, the good news is the welder said, I'm not going to charge you. And I thought, in a way, I felt bad, because he had done quite a bit of labor. He'd probably worked on it about 2 hours. In a way, I thought, well, you shouldn't charge me. You messed up my tank even worse. I mean, I could have put JB Weld on it, and it would have held for a little while. And so now I'm stuck. So it's Friday afternoon. I called the wrecking yard in Lubbock that does trucks, and I said, hey, have you got a tank for this truck? They said, we're pretty sure we do, but we don't do any used parts on Saturday, so you'll have to come in Monday. So I got up there early Monday morning and looked around. They had one tank, and it wasn't even close to being what I needed. Wasn't the right size. It didn't have the ports in the right spot. None of that. So I'm back to square one. I go to the PACCAR dealer, and I give them my VIN number, and they look up the part number, and they say that that tank, without any of the ports or anything, if I transferred all the ports over from my old tank, is $1,100. Oh, but wait, it's better. They also don't have any in stock in the country. They're made per order, and it could be several weeks before that tank comes in. So I started looking online. I found some tanks that were fairly close, but none that were exactly like what I was looking for. So had to look for other options. At this point, it's Monday afternoon. I found a metal fabrication shop in Lubbock, Texas. Really good guys. That they said, yeah, we think we can fix it. We do a lot of work for Bruckner's, which is the Volvo dealer in Lubbock. We patch big holes in diesel tanks. We patch air tanks. We do this stuff all the time. And by the way, it'll be $350 to $400. Still a lot better than $1,100. So I said, let's do it. Now hang with me. We're getting to the point where you see where I'm an airhead in the deal. So they said it'll be tomorrow afternoon, which would have been Tuesday. and tomorrow afternoon comes, tank's not done, it's going to be Wednesday morning. I said okay, and it ended up being Wednesday like 1 p.m. when it got done. Anyway, I go pick up the tank, and man, it looks great. And at this point, I'm going to show you a picture of that tank. Pause the video right here and look at those threads on the inside of that port. So I'm just impressed beyond impressed. And on top of that, it's $100 cheaper than what they told me. They said, hey, we were able to reuse that port. We didn't have to buy a new port. So you're in good shape. Now, if you looked at that picture closely, you see that the threads are stripped. I did not notice that. So I drove it about 30 miles to my son's shop, and I get ready to put that peripheral air dump valve there that goes there, and I'm like, crap, the threads are stripped. And for those that didn't notice it, you can go back and watch the video. Back the video up a little bit and pause it, and you can see that the threads are stripped. So Wednesday afternoon, and I mean late, like 4:30, right before 5, I get there. They said, hey Todd, we're gonna have to order that port. It'll be tomorrow. So Thursday afternoon, I get the port, and it's right, and I put it on, and the tank, I don't get it in there just right, and it has a rubber flapper that goes over it, and it was bulging out, and I was afraid it was gonna break off one of those valves. But you know, the owner of the company that I work for, he was getting concerned because I'd been at home a long time, and he was like, man, Todd, this breakdown's killing you. You need to get back to work. I'm like, I know, but I need it to be roadworthy. So Friday, I got a load, and that's where I'm at now. Just now, I pulled over, or well, I spent the night here, honestly, and I got under there, and I got the tank in the correct position, and now I have no issues with the tank. Now, where was I an airhead in this deal? Where was the shop an airhead in this deal? First of all, I should have stood my ground. I knew it wasn't a stainless steel tank, and I probably delayed myself 2 or 3 days by not standing my ground. If nothing else, Googling it and showing the welder, hey, this is not stainless steel, this is aluminum. Secondly, when I got the tank back, I should have screwed that peripheral in right there while I was at the shop when they told me they used the same port, so that if there was a problem, we could have caught it right then. I might have saved myself a day there. And you know, third, I took a big risk by driving it with the tank not in there correctly. It could have knocked a valve off and presented a bigger breakdown. So in an effort to get back to work, and in an effort to you know, get things going again, I probably made some bad decisions at key points that I regret. That's part of being an owner-operator, is you're not always going to get it right. You're going to make mistakes, and the key is to not blame anyone. You notice I'm not blaming the welder for misdiagnosing the tank as being stainless steel instead of aluminum. I'm not blaming the shop that didn't replace the port with the stripped threads. Oh, there was one more thing. After they replaced the threads, again, I drove it down to the shop 30 miles away, went to screw the peripheral in, and noticed that the threads on my air dump valve were burred, and so had to go back to the shop, and they had to redo that as well. So yeah, I definitely, in an effort to hurry, to be hasty, probably delayed myself a little longer than if I would have just took my time and looked over everything a little closer. So the great news is everything's fixed now. I'm rolling. I was kind of working myself back to Lubbock so me and my son could fix that tank together, but it's something that I was able to fix myself, so I'm going to keep working and try to make up some lost ground. But the main purpose of this video is if you've got an air leak, especially on a Kenworth T680, check those right beside those ports for an air leak. They seem to be bad about cracking. I'm not a big fan of aluminum anything other than aluminum cans because this reason right here. Manufacturers use them because they dissipate heat well. And that's why in the old days, engine blocks were made out of cast iron. Now a lot of times they're aluminum because they dissipate the heat a lot quicker, and the engines can run cooler, the operating temperatures of the engines. The air tanks, it's a lighter material, but however, if you do get a small crack, the heat just makes them fall apart. Also, if you try to remove any of those ports while that tank is hot, a lot of times it'll pull the threads out. Cars have the same problem. You go to pull the spark plugs while the heads are hot, a lot of times you'll bring the threads right out with it. And so there are some pros and cons to aluminum. It is more expensive if it has to be welded like mine did, but I hope this provides you with some information you can use. I want to thank everybody for all the thoughts and prayers, and I'm glad to be back out here working. And I'm gonna go inside and get a shower. I'm about 50 miles away from my delivery. I may drive over there tonight. I'm gonna look at the place on Google Earth and all of that, or I may just leave out early in the morning. But anyway, you guys have a great Monday. Unless something weird happens, I'll be on here tomorrow night at 5 p.m. For the Tuesday Trucker Talk. It's the last Tuesday of the month. It's normally where we have a guest on. It's the same guest we've had the last Tuesday of every month for several months now. But he's not going to be joining us no more. So it'll just be me kind of updating you guys on what's going on. Y'all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Appreciate each and every one of you. Bye-bye.